filming. All right, so 1.8, example 1, we're going to go over these. So adding two functions together. So for instance, if we have, let's say f of x is 2x plus 1, and g of x is x squared plus 2x minus 1. I want to add these two functions together. Well, it's actually just as simple as it sounds. I'll combine all the like terms. There's an x squared. Here's 2x and another 2x. Here's 1 and negative 1. So this is your answer. This would be adding those two functions together. It's just combining like terms. Okay? Now if we know what x is, then we just simply substitute the x in. And how that would look? That would look like this. F plus g of, say, 3. So that this is saying add the two functions together, and then the 3 afterwards says put 3 in for x. Okay? So since we've already added the two functions together, I just need to put a 3 into the x here. Question?
Oh, I was just wondering if there was a camera.
You are not being filmed. Your voice, however, is. And the smart board. I'm filming the smart board, so all they're seeing is magic marker show up on there.
Wow. Wait.
Is it?
I was confused.
Oh yeah, I got
So we added the functions.
Isn't it 12 plus 9?
What did I do? Yeah, 12 plus 9. Oh, looks like I have some dyslexia.
Whoa.
Wait, is it F?
21. 9, what?
Is that a G or a T?
This is a G.
Let me see the small reply.
G with a tail. How I learned to write cursively. Did you guys even learn that? By the way?
I like second grade.
Yeah.
And then we like
Sixth
sixth
grade
grade.
is
That was
just
about it.
cursive.
Didn't spend
It's
much time on it.
cursive over regular writing.
Okay, so this is adding.
Where
Do you-
did the 3 come from?
So it'll say add the two functions, put a 3 in. I
Oh,
picked the 3.
okay.
So if you look at example 1, it has that. It has a 3. So B, or excuse me, example 2 is subtracting. Do you guys think we need to put that up on the
I
board?
don't think so.
No.
Okay, how about example 3? It's multiplication.
Maybe.
Many times this will just be foiling. Okay, we'll do this. All right, so we have f of g of x, but they're changing f of x and g of x on us. They're saying f of x is x squared, and they're saying g of x is x minus 3. So if I am to multiply those two together, x squared times x minus 3, what do I get?
X to the third.
Correct? So far?
Minus 3x.
Perfect. X to the third minus 3x squared. But what if the question said f times g of, I think they used the number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, example 3, they have the number 4. What would that be then? Might need a calculator, right? 4 to the third? 64. Minus 3 times 16. 48. Tate, is that 48? Tate, now you're on record.
Okay.
I think so too. I don't know. Last time I put numbers down that were mixed in order, so I guess I can just go ahead and make mistakes all I want, as long as you guys correct me. What is 64 minus 48? What is it?
16.
60.
16.
Oh,
Is that right?
Yes. Hopefully.
I don't know.
Did I zone you out?
No, I just.
Oh. This is the answer. Did everyone understand what I did here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
which brings us to example 4. I will do example 4. Okay, this time, well, so we did adding, we skipped subtracting, we did multiplying. What do you think our last one is?
Division.
Division, good. So we're gonna get two functions, f of x, and most of the time in these problems, it's not reducible, which does make a difference. And maybe we'll show what I mean by a fraction that would be reducible. So for this problem, we need to, I think it's f divided by g of x. So that means we can put the square root of x on top and the bottom, 4 minus x. And then we reduce if possible. Is this reducible? Do we think it is? Here would be an example of a reducible fraction. How do you know that's reducible?
Is there factors?
Because they share factors. There's a 3 on the top, there's a 2 times 3 on the bottom. They both have a common factor of 3, right? So I can take that out, 1 over 2. Is there any common factors here?
No.
Is there anything I can multiply the bottom by to get the top? The answer is no. Okay, here would be an example of something I could factor. X squared minus 9. I could factor that. Like let's say this is what my answer was. Call it, I don't know, we don't have to call it anything. I could factor that. Why?
You already know the answer to the question.
Because it's 1/3.
Good guess, but not correct.
It's not correct?
No. If we'd have to first start by factoring the bottom. The bottom has a square minus a square. Difference of squares. What is the bottom factor to?
X minus 3x plus 3.
Good. X minus 3. Wow.
That does not.
Let's go down here. X minus 3 over x minus 3, x plus 3. The x minus 3's would cancel. You'd be left with 1 over x plus 3. So this would be an example of something I could reduce to 1 over, whatever. I think you guys got it. This one I can't. Okay?
That's your answer?
It is, but they'll always ask something else. They'll always say, what's the domain? So when we go, right, I got it, I gotcha. It's not the fun part. So when you go to domain, in most of these problems, there's only really 2 things you're looking for. If it's a fraction, right, what can't be on the bottom?
0.
Okay, and if it's a square root, what then? Can't be negative. Write it all out. Can't be, did I spell it right? You put an X in there, right? Okay, can't be 0. So how do we find the domain of that? Well, what would make it 0? What would make that denominator 0? A 4 would, right? Okay, so let's just, you're gonna have to actually like piece this one together. So square root of x over square root of 4 minus x. So right away we know we can't have the number 4 for x, right? What else? 4 minus 4 gives us 0. What about like 4 minus 1? What about 1? Does 1 work? Or no, excuse me, does 3 work? 4 minus 3 would be 1. Square root of 1 is 1. And it still works on top, right? So we can take the square root of 3. So 1 should work, 3 should work. So it looks like 4 and smaller should work. Does that make sense? If I go, let's do this. I'm gonna put this up here and see if you guys can see that works. Domain. Okay, the domain. We need to, for this not to be a 0. Can you see how if x is 4, it would be 0. We can't have a 4. But what if I go one smaller than 4? What if I go, like I'm looking at it, in my head, maybe I should have wrote this down, I'm looking at a number line. 4 doesn't work. What about 3 on a number line? If I put a 3 here,
Yeah.
4 minus 3, does that work?
Yeah.
Are you just nodding for the fun of it?
Yep.
Okay, well, what's 4 minus 3?
One.
What's the square root of 1?
One.
1. And then I put a 3 here? Can I have a number as the square root of 3 over 1?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I went the other way? What if I went to 5? Would 5 work in the denominator? No, why not?
It's a bit
You get
negative.
negative.
I'd have a negative square root. Okay, so I can't go to the right of 4, but how far to the left of 4 can I go?
No, you can't.
You can go to like one.
You can go to 1.
Like right now, I'm gonna say this.
No, you can go to 0.
I'm gonna say this is not completely correct. There's one issue with it.
Well, if you have a negative, then you just make it positive.
Correct. So we can do all the negative numbers. We can go, but what about 0?
Yeah.
If I put a 0 in the bottom, I have the number 2, correct? Because square root of 4 minus 0. But what about on top?
No.
That's a 0.
Do you see how we have to kind of combine both of these?
Yeah.
So hold on. What's the square root of 0?
0.
0, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to confuse you, I guess. But what if I went another negative number? What if I went to, let's go to a negative 4. This one works out real nice. So I'm gonna put, this is getting confusing, I know, I'll try and walk you through it all. 4 plus 4. Okay, the bottom would be the square root of 8. What's the top though?
There is no.
There isn't one. So this isn't completely correct. What do I need to change that negative infinity to?
I don't know. 0.
0. I'll walk you through it. 0 is correct. Okay, 4 we can't have. That's why we have a parenthesis. But we tested 3. We could test 2. 4 minus 2 on the bottom is 2. We can take the square root of 2. We can take the square root of 2. That'd be 1. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. What about 1? Does 1 work? 4 minus 1 is 3. Do I need to walk through all these, or you guys understand what I'm doing?
I don't get it.
I don't
So-
get the 0 part.
Yeah, I
We just can't have
like
a
how it's
negative
0.
number on top.
0
So-
works.
But why can't you use?
So we can't have a negative
0
number on
works.
top or on the bottom?
Oh, because why is it a bracket?
So hold on. Do we understand that 5 doesn't work? Let's
Yeah.
at least eliminate 5 from the mix. 4 works, but I'm gonna put it as an open circle, right? Because we have to be immediately smaller than 4 for it to work, right? Because 4 would give us a 0 in the denominator. With me there? Can't have a 0 in the denominator. We can have a 0 on top though. So 3 works, 2 works, 1 works. I can go through those numbers if you still don't understand if those work. But 0, that's the question. So square root of 0 over the square root of 4 minus 0. Does this work? What's the square root of 0?
0. 0.
What's the square root of the bottom?
2.
2. Can I have a number 0 over 2?
Yes.
Yes, that's 0. So 0 does work. It gives us the number 0. But what about any number to the left of 0? Those would all be negative.
They would give you a negative square root on top, so it wouldn't work.
Correct.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't get why it's a bracket.
Because 0 can give us an answer. 4
I
can't.
don't
Because
get why 0's in it.
What? Oh, I get
I get
it
why
now.
0. 'cause
Okay,
you're-
we'll do 4.
Yes.
If I
No,
can-
But 4 doesn't work.
He's gonna explain
That's
that
why I
later.
have a
Explaining
parenthesis.
why it doesn't work.
Did you want me to go through that? Why 4 doesn't work?
No.
No, I understand why 4 doesn't
Stuck on the
work.
brackets
But
and
if 0
parentheses.
works, why is
The
it with?
parentheses when it don't work, the
the
brackets.
four.
One at a time. What, Maya?
If 0 works and 4 doesn't work,
Yep.
why is it with the 4?
That's why 0 gets a bracket and 4 gets a
That's the
parenthesis.
lowest it can go.
Because I can go to 0 and I can actually put 0 in and get a number. But I can't get to 4. I can do any number just a little less than 4. That's why that gets a parenthesis.
Okay, I see that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We good? And how about the rest of us?
Yeah.
I just need to suck.
Okay. those watching the video probably got lost at step 1. Hopefully not. Okay, example 5. I don't, the domain questions aren't as tough as example 4 when you get to the homework. I don't think they combine fractions and square
Take
roots.
a picture of this and then write it down later.
Well, it'll be in a Google Classroom
It's not
video.
the same.
Do you want me to go to the picture?
No.
There we go.
Okay, maybe. All right. All right. Now we get to a part where I know you guys love. Are you good here?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Ready or
make
not?
revision?
Okay. What is this?
Oh.
F.
Did you say fog?
Okay. Fog f of g of x.
This is giving me flashbacks.
Okay.
Okay.
This means I take, if I have the x value, if I know that, I'm going to put that into the g function, and I'm going to take that result and put that into the f function. Okay? So we'll start like we don't know what x is. So we'll just say we have f of x is x plus 2. And g of x is 4 minus x squared. And we're supposed to find fog. So we're supposed to find out what this is of x. Okay? I always have to rewrite it like this. Sometimes they'll give it to you like this, but sometimes they just go with the fog, right? So what does this mean? This means I'm going to take the g function and put it into all of the x's of the f function. In this case, there's only one x. So I'm going to take 4 minus x squared, put it into that x. I get 4 minus x squared plus 2, combine like terms, 2 and 4 add to 6. How are we doing?
Give me a second.
Okay.
Wait, how did you get 6 minus x? Oh.
4 and 2, 6.
Oh.
Okay. How about you guys try Goff? How about you guys do the other one? G of f. Give it a try.
Dog,
Give it a try.
the quarterback.
Yeah, Johnny.
What? So now you put
Johnny, no pass.
You put the F back to the G.
Correct.
I don't like this.
What was the negative?
I don't remember how to
Is it
square
square
things.
everything?
Give it a try. Just give it a try on your own, and then I'll show you how to do it. But sometimes thinking about it and having your brain hurt a little, that actually helps you learn.
Isn't it just minus x squared? No. Minus. Can we watch nature walk instead? I think you're already walking it.
I'm so confused.
Oh.
I don't think this is right.
Is it X2?
Sorry?
X2 plus 4.
I haven't done the math in my head yet. They do have the answer in the book.
Oh. I always forget about
I
that.
had it right.
Hold up, I'm got on the negative side.
All right, you ready for me to walk through it?
Is this the last problem?
It can be the last problem. I was thinking I would do 6 and 7, but I might just save those for homework and let you guys struggle through them a little bit.
No.
Yay, I love struggling.
I ain't got time to
Would we be able to figure them out, or is it like a total
Some students would, some students would not, because some
I'm
students
not
see
some student.
see a problem in math and they run away.
Yeah.
Some students see a problem in math and they say, you know what, I'm gonna see what I can do to figure this out.
The only student that does that is Ava.
That was my exact thought.
So that's on tape. Now.
Love you, Ava.
That's on me?
Okay, here we go. We're gonna take x plus 2 and put it into the x over here. So how does that look? 4 minus parentheses x plus 2
All of them.
squared. Right, do we leave this like that? No. We have to FOIL that, so we have 4 out here minus, what is this gonna become?
X squared plus 4x plus 4.
Awesome, well done. A lot of students
Awesome.
forget this 4x in the middle. Why is that there? Because we have x plus 2 times
Oh, that's where the negative goes.
x plus 2, and we FOIL out, we'll get 2x and 2x to get 4x. Combining like terms, or at first I gotta distribute that negative sign through, I suppose.
Oh, that's what I didn't.
That's what, yeah, that's what.
4 and negative 4. That's off.
That was so funny.
Johnny.
Is that,
That's not the answer, right?
This is the answer for what we were doing. Yes.
That's the answer for golf.
Yep. And then C,
Program.
C changes a little bit. It just says do goff, which we did. Do goff, but put a negative 2 in.
So funny for what
Oh,
reason?
that's easy.
So we just put a negative 2 in there.
That was the easy part of last year.
Good.
What about last year was not easy? I cried regularly.
Towards the end of the year is when it got
It was
hard.
terrible.
I also give up trying.
Quattro.
Yeah.
I'll just, I know that.
See, you said this was harder than history. It's easier.
This is all
So
review.
same thing today.
Yeah, this is easy.
Okay, do you want me to keep filming, or you think we're good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Is there more questions on the homework?
Is
My
it
other
different from
class.
having on-
Well, examples 6 and 7 might be helpful.
Hour two.
Do it.
We should do that.
Should we keep that on film too then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hour two's the best.
Nibha football rules. Okay.
Oh, I work tomorrow?
Fog. We're supposed to find the domain of fog. Well, f of x is x squared minus 9. G of x,
Is this example 6?
it is. G of x is the square root of 9 minus x squared. So our goal is to find the domain of fog. Okay, so when you find the domain, you first have to, you do have to actually figure out what fog is. So fog, we have to take the g function and put it into the f function. So this isn't different yet, right? So I'm going to take this whole function and put it into there. Can we see what we get here? Be 9 minus x squared minus 9. Negative x squared. So the fog part in this problem isn't hard, right? But now we have to, we were asked, what is the domain? Which x values work? If I look at this, are there any domain issues with negative x squared? Are there any x values I can't? Are there any numbers you can think of that I can't put into there, put in my calculator, and get a number?
Infinity.
I can use any number between negative infinity and positive infinity. However, since this is a combination function, I actually have to look back at the individual functions. And specifically, when fog, where am I putting the x first?
G.
Into G. So the big one I have to look at is G. Does G have a domain issue? Are there any numbers I can't put into here?
Yeah, 3.
So how do you guys remember how we solve domain when it's a square root? Should I put it up here and see if I can jog your memory? Do you remember that whatever is under this square root needs to be greater than or equal to 0? Remember that? Anything under the square root needs to be greater than or equal to 0. If not, it's a negative number. Can't take the square root of a negative number. So how do I solve this? It's a little goofy when we have a negative sign here. I'm going to move that 9 to the other side. And then I want to get rid of that negative sign. So I'm going to multiply everything by -1. So that goes x squared. But what happens to that symbol?
It flips.
Flips. Did I lose you? Well, all I did is bring the 9 to this side.
So wait, you did the square root thing and then.
Well, I haven't yet. I'm leaving the square root on this side. You guys might find this one easier if I just get rid of the inequality for now. Let's just figure out what x is first. What are the two x values that satisfy this?
Wait, how do you get
3 and -3.
3 and -3. Okay? Now the question is, where am I losing you?
I don't know, you're jumping everywhere.
Okay, do you understand how I set this
I
greater
think
than or
you
equal
should
to
just
0?
get rid of the equal, that just make me confused now.
What?
This needs to be greater than or equal to 0.
Yep, I got that.
Okay, and then I just move the -9 to the other side.
Yep, I understand that.
Okay,
Yep.
and then I switch signs.
Mhm.
Okay, now let's think about just think about it a little bit. Can I use 0 here? 9 minus 0 squared. Yes. Can I use the number 4 for x?
No,
Why not?
because it'll be negative.
This will be a negative number. 9 minus 16 would be a negative number. I can't have a negative number under square root. What about -4?
Yes.
-4 would square to positive 16, and it would still be 9 minus 16, whether it's a positive 4 or a negative 4.
Because a positive 9 or negative 9.
Negative 4 times -4 is positive 16, and I have 9 minus 16. Okay? So, we need to be between these two numbers.
That's our answer.
That's your domain.
Okay, that's a lot easier.
Because if I'm outside of here, then this side, the x squared, is going to be a bigger number than 9. Right?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, -4, -5, -6, those all give me a bigger number than 9 when I square it. 9 minus a bigger number is a negative. Okay? Again, I don't think the homework question is quite that tough. And then the last one.
I hope not.
We'll see. We'll see. The last one. 1 over x minus 2 squared. And there isn't an answer for this one in the back of the book because there are multiple answers this could be. Give me two functions you can combine to make this. Again, there's multiple. Sometimes this one's almost just better just to see the answer and then go from there. So if f of x is 1 over x squared, and g of x is x minus 2, f of g, f of g,
Sample are we on?
this is example 7.
No, it isn't.
Is it
I'm just so confused.
H of x is, this is what they're giving us, and then they're saying come up with two equations that you can combine using FOG to get to this. Well, here's one equation. Here's another. Can you see how if I take this x minus 2 and put it into the x's of f? You see how I get 1 over x minus 2 squared?
How do you come up with that? Like, how do you figure it out?
Just practice. You're just gonna have to maybe see it.
Is this gonna
Just
be
break
on
this
test?
down. Break this down into two functions.
main question?
This wouldn't be a hard question on a test. I don't
So
think.
all the other
This
questions
takes a
are
little bit of
better.
practice.
So those are the answers.
These are two functions that if I combine them with FOG, I get h of x. You just have to come up with two functions that there's an infinite amount of them.
Then how did you get the work to find it?
How, well, so should we go through the work?
Yeah.
So G goes into F. So this x minus 2 goes into here. You see how that's already
Oh,
that?
yeah.
I think you're gonna have some F's this year.
Wait, I have a question.
Out of F last
I have a question. So basically, you're